Arsenal have qualified to the EFL Cup finals for sure. And hey, tomorrow Manchester City and Newcastle United will be battling, and we'll see who will join them to play the finals in Wembley Sports Stadium. But as we speak now, if you're a Chelsea fan, maybe you might have mixed feelings like me, because you think of the formidable team Arsenal is having this season, and you think of what Liam Rosenior absolutely tactically challenged Arteta today, and you have mixed feeling. So guys, the game is finally ended for sure. Arsenal kept on pushing and the resilience and momentum kept them in the game right from first half to the end of the game. Just in 10 minutes of the game, 6 minutes added on in 90 minutes, 6 minutes gone, Arsenal got the goal from former Chelsea player Kai Havertz, won the game for Arsenal. Carabao semifinals, League Cup semifinals, second leg. Arsenal won in the first leg, but then today the game was tactically determined. Both teams have brought out their best, but then in the end, Arsenal won the game. What's your opinion generally about the game?
Yeah, I think the two coaches were being very careful with their tactics. If you watch the game carefully, in the first half, you can see they were all trying to play, a very careful game, not pushing the men forward that much to allow the other team to get a counter attack. So from Mikel Arteta and Liam Rosenior, I think they were trying to be cautious with their tactics. It sometimes makes the game very boring. If you look at the first half and the second half, unfortunately, in the dying numbers of the game, Arsenal got a late win through Kai Havertz. And I think, that is a true reflection of what we watched today. And I don't think Arsenal were that dominant over Chelsea. It was a 50-50 game. Just that in the dying minutes of the game, Arsenal got a late win over Chelsea.
Yeah, could you say this Arsenal late goal is once again Chelsea side are not experienced enough to actually detect that if you push many men out there, it's going to haunt you in the end?
No, I think they did what they had to do, and I will not blame them for doing that. The game was literally coming to an end, and they needed a goal to stay in the competition. So at this point, you have to push all your men forward to get a goal. And that's exactly what they did. It's just unfortunate that Arsenal capitalized on that and got the goal. But I don't see anything wrong with what Chelsea did. They were just trying to get a goal to push the game to either extra time or the penalties. But unfortunately for them, it's backfired and they conceded the late goal.
Considered the late goal. So how would you rate both coaches, with Liam Rosenior just taking over this Chelsea side? This is the sixth game, our seventh game, 5 wins, 3 losses, and these 2 losses are for Arsenal. And compared to Mikel Arteta with 5-6 seasons with Arsenal.
Yeah, he's played 2 games against Arsenal, and both home and away, he's lost those games. I think for the 7 matches that he's played, I think Arsenal is the toughest opponent. I'm yet to see other opponents that he has played with, but looking at the teams that he has played, he's been getting some decent results. And I think maybe if he should continue this way next season, he might try to do something different with this Chelsea team. We saw in the early days of Enzo Maresca, he also did a massive job with Chelsea. And along the line, things went sideways and he lost control of the team. And sometimes, when these managers come into the teams, there's this new manager bounce. Some players are trying to impress the coach and they'll give it all out. Along the line, you will not know what will happen, and everything just goes off, and the fans will start blaming the coach. So I think for me, he's had a decent, start as a Chelsea manager. I'm hoping to see more from him in the rest of the games in the Premier League and also next season. and that he will use the team to train for the preseason proper and start the season. But for now, I think he's doing quite a good job for Chelsea.
He's doing a quite good job for Chelsea. And probably we have tomorrow coming is going to be Manchester City versus Newcastle United, right? And City is also leading by 2 goals advantage against Newcastle United. Judging on that, Arsenal is finally into the finals of the League Cup games. Also, they will be going to Wembley to face maybe Manchester City or Newcastle United. Which team would you have wished Arsenal face in this EFL Cup finals in Wembley Sports Stadium?
Well, anything that comes to play against Arsenal at Wembley, I think we the Arsenal fans we have no problem. Looking at the Arsenal team, I don't think we can say that they are a weak side that they have to choose between Newcastle United or Manchester City. If Newcastle comes, we will play against them. If Manchester City qualifies to the final, we will also play against them. So we are just hoping to see a very nice game tomorrow. Either of the teams that qualify to play us at Wembley for the finals, I think we are good to go. We can't pinpoint that we want Manchester City or Newcastle. I think this Arsenal team is capable of winning against both teams, and I'm just looking forward to see the team that will qualify to the final.
For the team that will qualify to the final, Arsenal for the past 6 seasons have gone to one finals in the FA Cup and won it. What do you think this is going to be a second trophy for Arteta?
Well, looking at what he's done over the years, I think he has an experienced side, and the only thing missing from this Arsenal team is trophies. If he's had the opportunity to play a final, I think he'll give it his best. But the players will give it their all for the team to win the title. So I'm looking forward to see a title this season, even if it is not the Champions League. Maybe this will be our first trophy this season in our cabinets. We are hoping to see more this season, but getting the EFL Cup to it won't be bad. So I'm just looking forward to the final game at Wembley, and hopefully Arsenal will win the title to crown the performance they've been showing for the past years, and also boost the confidence of the players going into the other games for them to also think of winning more trophies for the club.
Could you say is the rotation that actually make Liam Rosenier's side fail to get a goal in Emirates? Because he had the likes of Cole Palmer on the bench and Estavao on the bench. Pedro Neto is not involved in this game as well. They even coming in didn't do much because of Arsenal defense. But could you say is that rotation that made him could not actually get a goal over there?
Well, we can't just say that it's because of that rotation that helped Arsenal win the game. And it's just, home advantage from the fans. It is Arsenal being Arsenal, the defense, solid, and they got the win. So I can't blame Rosenior for benching some players. Maybe he has his own reasons. Remind you, he has Premier League matches to play, and he can't throw in all the players to play in the EFL. And later, when he goes into the Premier League, he also, find himself wanting, because mind you, he has to also qualify for the Champions League as well. So he's trying to play very, very carefully. He's trying to be cautious with the selection, and I think he just did that. It's just unfortunate. We saw Cole Palmer coming from the bench. We saw Estavao coming from the bench, but they couldn't make a huge difference in the game because, as I said earlier on, it was more tactical, and the two teams were being very, very careful with the way they approached the game. So it was kind of like boring, but in the end, Arsenal stole the win, and you can't blame the coach that much for the performance. They just, he just had to do what he had to do, and I can't blame the Chelsea coach for benching those two players and later introduce them into the game.
Yeah, but compared to Gyokeres in the first half, he had only 3 touches in the game. When Kai Havertz came, this is second game, second goal. So the two strikers, who do you think could probably Arsenal should be starting in the forward line for Arsenal?
Well, I think for now, I think Gyokeres has the nod over Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz has been injured for some months now, and he's not fully fit yet. So it's risky to start him in certain games. You put the player at risk and you also put the team at risk because and you're not fully fit, sometimes there are certain tackles they don't go in for, that will limit your side from, defending very well. So I think for now, Victor Gyokeres will be starting the games, or maybe Gabriel and Saliba will be starting the games for Arsenal. But introducing Kai Havertz into the game to also make a huge difference, because he has the potential of putting the ball at the back of the net anytime he comes on. So for now, I think I'll give it to Victor Gyokeres, but maybe after 3 or 4 matches, when you see that Kai Havertz is fully fit, we can start him in the games and see what will happen.
See what happened. What do you think about the referee Banks, his performance today?
Well, I think for me, if I'm to rate it out of 10, I'll give him a 7.5/10. It wasn't that bad, he had some calls. It was okay. Fortunately, today the VR was working. They were also assisting him. I didn't see any huge incident that he messed up in the games. For me, I think he had quite a good game. If I'm to rate him, as I said earlier on, I'll rate him a 7.5/10. I think he was solid today. Yeah.
Do you think Gabriel Martinez, or was it, yeah, or was it Jesus? Do you think it was a penalty for Arsenal involving with Chanuba?
No, I don't think it was a penalty, because he had already gone for the ball and his last leg caught him in the penalty
Got him.
box. Yeah, so I don't think it was a penalty. And that's why I said today the referee was, spot on with some of his decisions, because that ball wasn't a penalty, and he had a VAR assisting. I think at the other end too, Chelsea also were calling for one ball,
Yeah,
and
one ball,
yeah, I think it was a free kick, and they also checked the VAR and it was ruled out for a corner kick also. So I think, yeah, in my opinion, it wasn't a penalty. It was just a clean and fair tackle from
just a
Trevor Chalobah.
It was just a clean and fair tackle. But let's talk about Arsenal defense today. In the beginning of the game, it's like they were too hyper and they were trying like a lot of like hard games in such a way that maybe probably they could frustrate Joao Pedro and also Liam. But that wasn't working. I felt like they could have conceded a lot of fouls due to that. You missed the first half, though. But going forward, what do you think about this pair with Gabriel and Ben White? Because I don't see Ben White a lot in that kind of situation, but it looks like he wasn't comfortable today.
Well, unfortunately, as you said earlier on, I missed the first half. But when I saw Gabriel and Saliba at the hearts of defense for Arsenal, Jaren Timber playing his right back position as usual. And I think today Hincampie came on the left side of defense for Arsenal. So I think for me, sometimes they do all these things to put some fear in the striker. They'll just be bullying him a bit to, scare him, for him not to go for certain tackles. And I think they did it perfectly. Per what I saw in the game, Saliba was excellent. Gabriel was excellent. The back line, they had a decent game. Maybe the first half, they had a bit of issues at the back, which maybe Arteta also rectified and had to take some bold steps and, correct his players. So for me, I think what I saw was okay with the Arsenal defense.
What you saw was this okay with Arsenal defense. Who was your man of the match in the game?
It is quite difficult to point a man of the match in the game, because it's not, as I said, the game was a bit boring, because it wasn't flowing that much. It was being more of tactical play. And if I'm to give a man of the match, maybe Kai Havertz, because he is coming from the bench and getting the late goal. He stole the whole show and everything. So maybe I'll just give it to Kai Havertz. But looking at the general play, I don't think certain players stood out today on the pitch.
Certain players stood out on the pitch today. But then Arsenal have qualified to the EFL Cup finals for sure. And hey, tomorrow Manchester City and Newcastle United will be battling, and we'll see who will join them to play the finals in Wembley Sports Stadium. But as we speak now, if you're a Chelsea fan, maybe you might have mixed feelings like me, because you think of the formidable team Arsenal is having this season, and you think of what Liam Rosenior absolutely tactically challenged Arteta today, and you have mixed feeling in that game. But kudos to Arsenal, they have made it right on point, and probably let's hope what is going to be happening. And if you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button, like and share the video, and your opinions are highly welcome. Remember, it's an aggregate of 4-2 in favor of Arsenal, and it is enough to take them to the finals. See you in the next game, and hey, tomorrow, next game coming your way. And if you just join us, let me know your opinions in the comment section. Ciao.